Rami expecting a video. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, as that would be deeply appreciated. Share the video to a friend who likes for this or just anime content in general. And with that being said, we can now begin the video. Road to 30,000 subscribers. Now, something that I've been doing in a lot of my most recent videos, which has kind of become a trend in most of my videos, is where I give a short sneak peek into the future of the what if. So, as this what if is what if Naruto is immortal, I will be doing that. Naruto stood silent in a room with a woman known only as Valkyrie, stood in front of him. With armor on and an Anbu mask covering her face, she stood with her sword outstretched towards Naruto. It would be then that she plunged her blade into Naruto. Naruto took 2 steps back, as she then plunged her blade into Naruto once more, going right through his heart, and, in her mind, killing him. It would be then that, several seconds later, Naruto arose, as if he was a zombie. Oh boy, does it feel good to be alive again. What? Why are you still alive? I killed you. Wait. Did you really think that just because you killed me, I would actually die? You must know nothing as the Immortal Naruto. Maybe I should share with you a story. With that being said, we can now fully begin the video. That was a short sneak peek, and we can start from the true beginning of the what if now. Now, the events of the canon would go the exact same, especially for Naruto, up until the age of 12 years old. It would be well into graduating from the academy and being a ninja alongside Kakashi Hatake that, a change would occur. You see, whilst leaving the Land of Waves, all of Team 7 tired and, returning back to the Leaf Village, they would be ambushed. And just as quickly as Kakashi readied himself for battle, the attackers were gone. But with them was Naruto Uzumaki. It would be then that a bag was placed over Naruto's head and he was put within a cart. All he could feel was the wheels of the cart hitting the rock beneath him, until it suddenly stopped. It was then that, Naruto escaped. And when he did, he looked around. He didn't know what to say, to do. And so he paused. Where am I? He said. Not too loud, not too quiet. As a voice, a calming voice, yet stern, said that he was in between the villages hidden in Kokumi and Fujiwara. Naruto had no idea where he was, so he didn't bother asking another question. He remained silent until the bag placed over his head was lifted. When it was, he was now outside of the cart, looking out at a beautiful mountain, covered densely by trees. He couldn't help but breathe and take in the air. It would be then that he looked to his left, and there stood a girl. The girl was much taller than him, also seemed to be much older than him. As Naruto couldn't help but, ask what the girl's name was. Oh, me? I am Chisuke. And you're Naruto Uzumaki, right? Yeah. Why? I figured. There'd be no other reason that group of bandits would be taking you. And since I already believed you to be Naruto Uzumaki, It only made sense. It had seemed that Chisuke had a water bottle and had just drinking some of it. With that, Naruto asked the question, well, what happened to the bandits? Are you like their super cool leader and you just told them off or something? It would be then that Chisuke took another sip of water. I took their souls. What? What do you mean? Their souls? Well, how else would I be here now? I took their souls. What the heck? What are you talking about? I took their stupid souls. Naruto, I'm immortal. What? Immortal? What the hell do you mean by that? I can't die. And in order to continue my long lifespan, I can absorb souls. Either that or I'll begin to look like a granny. And even then, I will still live and well, survive. I see. Well, I don't know anything about you, and I think I want to go back to the Leaf Village. Could you take me there? Take you back to the Leaf Village? Hell no. From now on, you're traveling with me. With that being said, Naruto and Chisuke actually traveled for quite a long time. Naruto had no choice but to accept. He didn't know how to get home in the first place, and no matter how much he begged to go back to the Leaf Village and see his friends, well, he was either too weak to defeat Chisuke or feared her abilities and strength far too much. This did come with great advantage, and the fruits of this advantage were seen in Naruto's knowledge. Naruto was stronger than when he had left, faster, more knowledgeable. He knew more and more about the world. He had learned so much from Chisuke. It was until one day they entered a village. They were only there to collect a special tea so that Chisuke could give it to a friend. But upon a small disagreement, he saw Chisuke. He saw her wrath. The destruction, the calamity that she brought to an entire nation before Naruto's own eyes was enough for him to feel sick to his stomach. And not only that, but to know that what Chisuke did was not right, not in the slightest. And so as he watched this all happen, he rose to his feet. At the time he was sitting, watching the destruction happen, but as Chisuke continued, he couldn't help but step in. He had to protect the lives of the village. These were innocent peoples. Yeah, sure, one disagreement. If she, decided to kill whoever she was disagreeing with, then that's fine, but an entire nation? That's just outright insane. And so Naruto wasn't having it. And thus, he fought against his, in a way, teacher. Chisuke had quite literally become Naruto's teacher. Chisuke had even taught Naruto how to properly fight. And, made Naruto into the man he currently is. Also, for a preface, to put it simply, Naruto currently is 14 years old, meaning that they have been traveling together for an entire 2 years. He then clutched onto his blade, a blade that was given to him by Chisuke herself. He applied chakra to his feet, again, an ability that Chisuke taught Naruto. Chisuke was the first person to teach Naruto to properly control his chakra. It would be then that he rushed towards Chisuke at high speeds. On his way towards her, he flew past. Not literally, but, well, he was running so fast that he was practically flying. Anyways, he flew past several pieces of debris. He even avoided several mini fires, all caused by Chisuke. He was in this very moment witnessing her destruction firsthand. Her wrath, her fury, her strength. And in a way, Naruto was an extension of Chisuke. It wasn't as if he was her blade or anything like that, but in a way, Naruto was the application of Chisuke's knowledge, her teachings. It would be then that he was close enough to strike, and so he did. He attempted to cut Chisuke, but it was to no avail. It merely cut her robe, a robe that he knew that she cared little for. It would be then that she dodged Naruto's blade completely when he went to swing once more, grabbing it by the tip of its blade. She held Naruto's sword in place with merely one finger, as Naruto tried his best to move it but could not. Just... Can you at least pretend like you're trying? Why would I pretend like I'm trying? You know, it kind of seemed like back there that you were actually trying to kill me. A small portion of Chisuke's blood leaked onto Naruto's blade. And as Naruto grit his teeth even harder, knowing that in some way or another he was doing damage, he pressed on even harder. You applying more strength to your blade does nothing to me. This is the equivalent of my finger pricking a thorn bush, Naruto. Please, back down at once. But Naruto didn't relent. A tear flew out of Naruto's left eye. All those years ago, when you took me away from my own village, my friends, I had no idea of how to get home. Actually, I still don't. So in a way, in this moment, I'm forced to stay with you. But, I will not allow you to senselessly kill people. Mindlessly killing people it's not okay. It's not fair to them, it's not fair to me. You shouldn't be making me watch this. I can't just sit here and watch this. That is not what you taught me to do. So when it comes to other people mindlessly killing, I should stop it right away. Right, Chisuke? Precisely. That is exactly what I have taught you. But when it comes to you, I should just let it happen, let it slide. Huh? Yeah, I've seen you do some horrible things. I know you to be a thief, a liar. Even in some ways scum. But this? This makes you borderline insane. Naruto, this is exactly what I taught you to do. So of course I'm not mad at you. Now then, this is fun. All of this destruction, it's fun, it's thrilling. Oh boy, when you've been along, well, or rather alive, as long as I've been, you would realize that this is the most fun that, well, you can have. Destroying things that are already meant to end. It's like eating a cookie that was designed to be eaten. Humans are designed to die, eventually. Why am I so bad for putting their lives to an end earlier? Now, Naruto. I apologize. But your blade, it's going to break. Unless you remove your blade. Well, then if that's the case, that would be no problem. No, I'm not removing it. If my blade breaks, then I'll just use my hands. Huh. I would like to see you try. Naruto grit his teeth once more, pressing his blade even deeper into Chisuke's skin, as his blade completely shattered in his palms. Naruto almost let off a gasp as his jaw dropped, his eyes widened, and, well, he even began to have goosebumps. Why, my blade. I'll get you a new one after this is all over, Naruto. For now, forget about it, and fight me like a man. Naruto then put down the hilt of his blade, which was now merely just a hilt. There was no sword at its end. It would be then that he prepared to fight Chisuke as he sent a fist hurling towards her. Chisuke dodged, grabbing Naruto's hand and twisting it slightly. It would be then that Naruto strengthened his palm, raising his hand, which then exposed Chisuke's chest area, which Naruto applied pressure to his, hand before karate chopping straight down Chisuke's body. This karate chop was not a karate chop meant to injure her, but to stun her. And that, that it did. With that, Naruto had enough time to run around her, getting to her blind spot, her back. It would be then that he pulled out a short sword, stabbing it and plunging it right through Chisuke's heart. Chisuke was now dead. It would be then that Chisuke awakened, seconds later. Blade straight to the heart? I didn't expect that from you, Naruto. But if I ever thought that you would have the guts to kill me in the first place, I would not have expected it to be from behind me. Isn't that a coward's attack? No. I believe that because I am fighting an immortal warrior, there is no such thing as being a coward. Naruto then disappeared using the body flicker jutsu, as Chisuke already knew where he would appear. He would appear at the right angle closest to her blind spot, and thus, she pinpointed exactly where he would be, grabbing his leg and applying pressure to the joint at his foot. Naruto almost screamed out in pain. Well now, Naruto, do you wish to continue this duel of ours? Or can I end it here? Can you end it here? Is that really even a question, Chisuke? Of course you can't end it here. I'm too strong for you to end it so quickly. I'm not like the stupid bandits and random civilians that you kill. I am your pupil. Naruto said this with such strength, vigor, and, strength in his words that Chisuke couldn't help but let off a small smile. Well then, I suppose I'll have to put you back in your place. With that, she slammed Naruto down to the ground by his foot, as the distance between them was now about 20 meters. Naruto, Uzumaki. I apologize in advance. This is the only way I think you can learn your lesson. Now then. Blue chakra was now on each of her fingers. Only in her right hand, though. Now then, What do you say, stinking fox? Can you hear me? The Ninetales awakened in Naruto's body as soon as Shisuke said fox. Now then, I'm sure you can hear me. Your Jinchuriki is in a bit of a sticky situation. Will you protect him? Or will I have to seal your powers away even more? The Ninetales let off a grunt. What I mean by grunt is a grunt and a sigh, but it was more of a sigh. With that being said, he grit his teeth within Naruto. Naruto's eyes turned red, piercing into Shisuke. As Naruto surrendered his body to the Ninetales now had near full control over Naruto, although he couldn't do anything really because of the seal placed on him by Minato. But what this did allow him to do was communicate with Shisuke. Shisuke. Yes, Naruto? It's not Naruto. It's Kurama, the Ninetales. Ah, I see. Well, how's the little brat doing? How long has it been, Kurama? I don't know. I haven't kept track of time. Well, I'm glad you remember me. If I didn't, what kind of being would I be to forget an immortal? Really? Whatever. Now then, I can't say I'm gonna miss you, can I? Anyway, I'm going to tighten the seal. The next time Naruto relies on your power, you better grant him some sort of mastery over it. I want him to be able to draw on your chakra without actually having to ask you for it. You won't be able to seal me, Chisuke. You don't have it in you. To harm me, you would only be weakening the old ones. You think I care about the old ones? The Biju are nothing. You can just call yourselves tailed beast. Adapt to modern times just as I have. The old ones. You're the strongest of them anyway, Kurama. You are the Kyuubi, the fox. So you should have no problem being weakened. I will only tighten your seal this time. But if we meet like this again, I promise you, Kurama, I'll be weakening your own power. I will steal pigments of your soul. These words hit a nerve in Kurama, but he said nothing, remained silent, as he felt the pain of the seal tightening its hold on him. It would be then that Naruto's body weakened. And well, Naruto was now fast asleep. With that, Chisuke took Naruto quickly back to their home. Their home was moderate in size. It was about 3 bedrooms, and with, well, only 2 of them, one of the rooms was specifically designed for, well, training. With that being said, it was equipped with all the things that were needed in a home for Naruto and Chisuke. And Naruto actually quite liked it. Aside from the fact that everything in it was, well, catered to Chisuke, because, well, Chisuke actually built and designed the house herself. With that being said, Naruto was, well, beside himself. When he woke up, he didn't know if he should be angry at, well, Chisuke or not. Should he be angry, happy, or sad, or upset? He had no idea. He didn't even really want to think about it that much. And so all he did was let off a smile. And as soon as he awoke, he went right back to bed. Now, one more year has passed, making Naruto now 15 years old. Naruto is now far past the level of a Kage. And, well, he has been taught well by Chisuke. He even knows 3 out of 5 of the great chakra natures. Although Naruto learned 1 naturally, he was able to artificially learn 2 through an ancient technique that Chisuke taught him. The chakra natures that Naruto does have are lightning, fire, and wind. Wind being the only one that came naturally to this Naruto. With that being said, he constantly works on, well, gaining water and earth style. Although he's merely touched the surface of those 2 chakra natures. With that being said, Naruto and Chisuke were, well, traveling to a village, and it would be here that Naruto saw history repeat itself. Instead of, well, fighting Chisuke was, well, let's just say, ganged up on. Now, what do I mean by history repeating itself? Well, Chisuke got into a disagreement with somebody in this village and decided to, well, just outright destroy it. Naruto wouldn't stand for that, but nor would the people of the village. Somehow they had super strong ninja, and these ninja, well, they attacked Chisuke. Naruto couldn't help but help them. Without Naruto's help, Chisuke couldn't be captured, and he knew that. He also knew that Chisuke had to atone for this one, that he wouldn't just let it slide like he did last time. And thus, by the end of the day, Chisuke was in shackles, bloodied and beaten. Naruto came to visit her the next morning. As he sat at the front of her cell, only able to see her through a few lines in the cage, the holding cell, as Naruto called it. Chisuke. Chisuke. Huh? Chisuke! Fujiwara! Naruto. What the hell are you doing? Here of all places. You're the last person I want to talk to. I can smell it. I can smell the iron. You reek of blood, Chisuke. Although, isn't it fitting? Since you've spilled so much already. Since you've spilled so much blood yourself. For an immortal, you really are horrible. What's that supposed to mean, Naruto? It means that I understand it now. Huh? Understand what? Would you just free me from these shackles already? No! Naruto replied violently and quickly, as soon as he heard her words. Chisuke, you are a thief. A liar. Scum. What? Yes, I attacked this village. It was fun, alright? Oh, sorry, did I forget to mention that you were borderline insane? Your ideas of fun really irked me, too. You know, for someone who could live forever, you could have done a lot more. Heck, if I was immortal, I would have already brought peace to the world by now. You could have had anything you wanted. Over the centuries that you've been alive, you could have had anything. You could have even had world domination. Or something else pretty generic like that, but you did not. But you didn't, Chisuke. Even though you would. And because of that, you, Chisuke Fujiwara, are a waste of immortality. You have my respects in terms of combat any day of the week, year, decade. But outside of that, you are nothing but filth. Goodbye, Chisuke. Can't really say I'm gonna miss you, can I? Naruto could now see tears flowing down Chisuke's face. But she remained strong and did not let her true emotions, well, be seen. I'm so sorry. You know that, right? I'm very, very sorry. At least sound genuine about it. Why do you have to hide away your emotions from me? I get it, Chisuke. You're immortal. I'm not. I'm a kid. You're more than an adult. But why must you block away your feelings and conceal them with false barriers in your mind? Why, I ask, why? I have no idea. You know that, right? I have no idea why you're hiding your feelings from me. I have been honest with you. I have fought for you more times than I can count. I have killed for you, Chisuke. Silence befell the room. Chisuke, do you remember all those years ago when I took my first life? When you made me take my first life? Yes. Yes, I do remember. Why? Well, it's a lot like this, isn't it? I hid away my feelings from you, and you confronted me about it later in the day. Instead of confronting you about it later, I'm confronting you about it now. Don't hide your feelings from me, Chisuke. Because in the end, I believe I'm the only one who can understand you. Understand? Yeah. What you said hurt my feelings. Because I know some of that to be true. I am a thief, I am a liar, I am Scoutman, and, well, in a way I am borderline insane, but can you blame me? I have lived for over 500 years, can you blame me for being at least a little bit insane? Can you? Can you really? No. No, I can't. I can't blame you at all. Why would I blame you? I suppose I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything I put you through, Naruto. I should have never made you take that life. I should have never taken you from the bandits. But I did. And there is nothing I can do to change that. So Naruto, let me out. No. What? No. I'm not letting you out. Why? Listen here. I love you, Chisuke. But that love only extends so far. Some of the love I feel for you is even forced. Now listen, because I will not repeat myself. I will make you suffer. Here in this cell, I will make you suffer. You got that? And when I feel you have atoned for the lives that you have committed and taken mindlessly in battle, for thrill and for fun, when I think that you have atoned for those deaths, then and only then will I release you. And it's not like you're just going to wither away and die. You are immortal, Chitsuke. Naruto would leave, but tragedy befell Chitsuke when Naruto was gone. Several of the villagers who seeked vengeance on Chitsuke appeared in the dark of night and killed her. But they knew of her immortality. They didn't just kill her once, but they killed her over and over and over again. And Naruto came the next morning, only to find them relentlessly stabbing spears, pitchforks, blades, kunai, and all sorts of other gadgets and weapons into Chisuke. He even saw one of the villagers throw a paper bomb into her cell. Naruto was infuriated. Get out! All of you leave! I will not allow for a single one of you to put your hands on her again. One of the villagers went to stop her once more as Naruto screamed, No! She was supposed to suffer on my terms. My terms. Not yours. The villagers all exited the room, as now it was just Naruto and Chisuke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry they did this to you. It's funny. What's funny, Chisuke? You were supposed to suffer on my terms, remember? No. You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are. What? I don't understand. Naruto, open the cell and come closer. You know I'm far too close to the brink of death to hurt you. Actually, I'm far too close to the brink of death to escape too. Okay. Naruto unlocked the door as he walked closer and closer to Chisuke, eventually sitting down right beside her. It would be then that Chisuke outstretched her hand to Naruto, grabbing it, and now staring directly into Naruto's eyes, she said, I have lived for centuries. Not once have I found somebody with a lovable heart, capable enough to hold, well, no, to be me, to be like me. Nobody has proven worthy of immortality. But you. What? We have family at first, all of us do, but in the end, we are left entirely and utterly alone. It's as if it is a curse. Pain, that is. Loss and suffering. Now don't ever underestimate the allure of darkness, Naruto. Even the purest of hearts are drawn to it. And with such a life, you may be too. What are you saying, Chisuke? Man up. You're 14 years old, god damn it. Now, you have my power. What? What did you just say, Chisuke? Nothing. You've already died, haven't you? Naruto, face planted in the ground beneath him. Naruto arose. Chisuke, wake up! Naruto continued to shake Chisuke, but, well, nothing worked. She wasn't waking up. And it was then, when he felt her heartbeat, he knew she was dead. And so he took her blade, claimed it as his own. It would be then that he left. And he trained on his own for years and years. Time skip. 2 years. I said years and years, but technically years is just, well, a couple of years and beyond that. So, I believe that this is an okay way to begin this flashback. Or rather, not a flashback, the opposite of a flashback, a time skip. Naruto began his day by chopping a fresh tree. He then cut the tree into multiple smaller pieces and began to use the tree for firewood. But he didn't just leave the rest of the tree. He made sure to use every bit of it. He even used, well, the bushes and leaves on the tree. With that being said, he then lit a fire in his home, sat and relaxed. His day-to-day was going to be simple. He was to travel to the Leaf Village. For the first time in what felt like, well, ages. He was hired as a mercenary by the 5th Hokage of the hidden Leaf Village, Tsunade. Now, some of you may be wondering, what exactly happened? Since, for the better part of the story, we have not been in the Leaf Village, to give a quick summarization, Sasuke has defected from the village and has, well, basically been taken on as an apprentice by Orochimaru. As for the situation of Hokages, Orochimaru still does kill Hiruzen in this timeline. This results in Jiraiya coming to the village, where he is then a proxy Hokage, whilst he locates Tsunade, and practically forces her into the job of becoming Hokage. Tsunade is no longer a drunken fool, and, well, has also been able to get over her massive fear of blood. With that being said, she serves the village as the 5th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village, Lady Tsunade. Now, the Leaf Village needs to retrieve Sasuke Uchiha. And quickly. And so, they have hired people to do the job. Of course, they have their own ninja, Anbu, etc., etc. But, for extra help, they have hired certain mercenaries who have made names for themselves in the ninja world. Naruto, Naruto had made a name for himself, but it wasn't as Naruto. His name, or rather, the name that he allowed people to see, was, well, also, if I've used this name in a past what if, then I am, having a brain fart, so I'm pretty sure I've never ever used this in any what if, so it is very, very original. But the name that he went by was Alphelion. To Naruto, the word was an honoring of his dead master, Chisuke Fujiwara. With that being said, Naruto, or rather Alphelion, had been sent a letter from the 5th Hokage herself, asking for his help. It is unknown how the letter appeared to Naruto, but the letter was most likely dropped off by an Anbu. At least that's what Naruto thought. Albeit, Tsunade would have to know exactly where he lives to drop off the letter, exactly where he lives. And, well, his place of residence isn't exactly public, so to speak. With that being said, he quickly left his home. The day was cold, but not too cold. He began his journey to the Leaf Village using a small map that he carried. The map guided him as he then approached a riverbank. This allowed him to know exactly where to go, which direction, which turn. From the riverbank he headed west, and then, upon reaching a massive mountain, he went north. And then, upon reaching a massive pillar, just a pillar of stone, he turned right and headed, well, down south from there, before turning. With that being said, eventually, Naruto found his way to the Hidden Leaf Village. The village gates seemed bigger, Naruto thought to himself. This village, it seems all so different since the last time I was here. I hope they don't believe that I was a rogue ninja, that I left on my own accord. I'm sure they'll be understanding. At least I hope. As Naruto walked the streets of Konoha, his body and face were completely covered by a grayish brown robe. As he walked, the villagers couldn't help but, be scared of Naruto. The hooded person walking through the streets of Konoha. It was clear to them that Naruto was not from the village, even though, technically speaking, he was. His attire, his movement, the way that he even just walked, it all screamed foreign. He held his sword out, unsheathed it as soon as he took 5 steps within the village. And it was then that as the villagers watched him walk, he sped up. He began to run. So fast that people couldn't even see him. All they could see was a blur flying through the streets. And, they could certainly feel his presence. Wind, from the speed of Naruto's running, flew over them, blew in their faces, knocked things down. Naruto, in a way, Naruto was sort of wreaking havoc, just by his mere presence alone. It would be then that he came into view once more. This time, he was entering the Hokage's building. Upon entering it, he once again became a blur. None of the Anbu guarding Lady Tsunade could even see him. He entered the room just as discreetly as he had, entered the entire building. Just as discreetly as he had entered the entire village. It was there that he then knelt to Tsunade. It is my understanding that you are Lady Fifth. Tsunade, right? Well, of course you know me. I shouldn't have to say my name. You are the one who hired me, right? Yes. It is my understanding that you are Alphilion? Yes, I am Alphilion. Naruto then took off his hood to reveal his face. Now then. When are we going to go retrieve this ninja? Preparations are being made as we speak. We will be ready by tomorrow. Good. I don't want to stay in this village for too long. Why not? What's wrong with the village? And be careful with your words, young one. I'm more than twice your age, and I'm the Hokage for this village. What's your reasoning? Why don't you want to stay in the leaf for, a long time? Busy. I don't like it here. The people, they all stare at me like I'm some monster. Why? Because I'm a foreigner. Naruto took a fresh sip out from a water bottle. You see, just because I am different, just because I dress different, walk different than the people here, doesn't mean that they should look at me as if I'm some sort of, I don't know, monster. Well, most people know you by your look, your attire, and that hair of yours. What about my hair? It is my understanding that the great Alphelion dipped his head in the azure waters of the Mist Village and was able to hold his head still for over 1 month. The water subsequently turned his hair azure blue. That's a pretty distinct feature in you, Alphelion. You can see it immediately. You just take one glance and the blue hair says it all. You're Alphelion. Everybody knows that. So what? I still don't like how they looked at me. Grow up. Don't tell me to grow up. Say that again. Mention my age and me being too young again and I will leave. You are the one who needs my help. I do not need yours. Not today, not tomorrow. I could go the rest of my life without needing your help. So don't speak to me like I couldn't kick your ass. Might I interrupt? The person interrupting was none other than Kakashi Hatake. The man who Naruto knew as someone with over 1,000 jutsu. Of course you can interrupt me. Go right ahead. What? Just going to put this out here. If you're saying that you're stronger than the Hokage, this should be no problem for you to do. The Hokage only has to, well, hire so many people for this job. Because she can't just leave the village undefended. But in theory, if you're saying that you're as strong as Lady Tsunade, then maybe we should put that to the test. You mean me fighting Lady Fifth? Not gonna happen. Why? Are you scared? No. But I respect her position as Hokage. I want to be able to test my strength against a Leaf Ninja, though. So you may propose another option that I may accept. Think of anything? Yes, actually. I have. How about... How about you fight me? And who are you supposed to be? Naruto asked this question, but in his mind he already knew that this was Kakashi Hatake. He heard the rumors. A man with gray hair, one eye covered, and, well, a leaf jonin. It's an easy sight to see, to remember. With that, he continued. Now then, how does that sound? Did you forget my question? I asked who the hell you are. Oh, I am Hatake Kakashi. And trust me, I qualified for Hokage before Lady Tsunade stepped in. I'm just as strong as her. Maybe a little weaker, maybe a little stronger. Fine. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and fight. Alrighty. Naruto, Kakashi, and Tsunade quickly ran to a training ground as Tsunade would begin the fight. 3, 2, 1. Now you two, Kakashi Hatake and Alphelion, may begin battle. Tsunade jumped back, watching the battle from afar. Alphilion stood still. Also, by the way, I will be referring to Naruto in this battle as Naruto, but it should be remembered that they all think that he is quote-unquote Alphilion. Naruto stood still as Kakashi watched him with his Sharingan now active. He then began to focus in on Naruto's chakra. As, well, he was in a way surprised. He saw 2 different chakra signatures within Naruto. Hey, Alphilion, before we begin, are you am I a what? Never mind. Naruto then smirked and rushed towards Kakashi, slamming his fist into Kakashi's gut before he could react. This sent Kakashi about 2 meters from Naruto, before Kakashi was finally able to get his footing. He cemented his foot in the ground before raising his left foot to kick Naruto. The kick connected with Naruto's body, but Naruto was able to grab the kick. It would be then that he would apply pressure to Kakashi's leg, pressing his nails into Kakashi's skin as he would throw Kakashi in the air. He then prepared a jutsu, a fireball jutsu to be exact. Upon doing it, Kakashi did the exact same, sending a fireball right at Naruto. Naruto believed that his fireball was strong enough to overcome Kakashi's, but with Kakashi's mastery over the jutsu, they expelled one another, creating a massive explosion of smoke. Naruto and Kakashi now stood about 10 meters apart, the smoke covering their vision. For Kakashi, this was easy to see. For Naruto, he couldn't really make out past some of the fog. Well, some of the foggish smoke, to be exact. He then began to walk through the smoke. He wasn't scared. He knew that he could see at least 20 feet through the smoke. And so, if he stumbled into, well, Kakashi, he would know, far before Kakashi could land any sort of attack. Naruto wasn't expecting it, but a stone pillar rose above his feet. Naruto's feet then became locked in the stone. It became mud and he could no longer escape it. Naruto stood still. He knew that fighting with the mud would only make it stronger. So he sat. In a way, it was more of a squat. He was pushing chakra to his feet. He wished to dispel the jutsu. But it was no matter. No matter how hard Naruto tried, he couldn't break the jutsu. Damn it. What's this jutsu of yours, Hatake? Oh, this jutsu. It's an oldie but a goodie. What? Just watch. With that, 5 more pillars appeared. But this time, they surrounded Naruto. Naruto could now see that the smoke was clearing, and could visibly see Kakashi preparing more and more hand signs. He then saw 2 shadow clones appear beside Kakashi. These shadow clones used a water-style jutsu to fill the surrounding area inside of the pillars surrounding Naruto with water. Naruto now stood still on a muddy pillar, whilst there were 5 stone pillars surrounding him. Inside of the area between the stone pillars and the muddy stone pillar that he was standing on was water. Naruto didn't know exactly what Kakashi was doing, but whatever it was, it seemed to be a powerful jutsu. When Naruto saw the next hand seal of Rat, he immediately knew. This was no ordinary domination jutsu. This was a sealing jutsu to immobilize his movements, and thus he knew he had to escape, but he didn't know when. As Kakashi began to add lightning style to the attack, Naruto was going to move. That was his plan anyway, because he could tell far before the jutsu was launched that it was going to be lightning style. But not in the way that he thought. He thought it would be some jutsu similar to that of, say, the lightning ball jutsu. But instead, it was, well, it was the Chidori. Kakashi jumped into the air. He now sprung himself towards Naruto. Alphelion! I'm sure you've never seen this jutsu before. Let me tell you all about it. It's known as the Chidori, or Lightning Blade. And well, as its name suggests, it can cut lightning. Now, I suppose you wish to see this jutsu in action. Let me show you its ability. The damage it can do! Just by standing, or rather, just by holding his Chidori, the area around Kakashi was static. You could see damage physically being done to the surrounding areas, the surrounding environment. With that, Naruto took his time. He had to move exactly right before the ability connected. All he had for a basis of this was that the ability was as fast as lightning. But Naruto knew he was much faster than that. He had, well, as far as the human body goes, he had mastered speed. He watched it closely and keenly. He focused his eyes in on the lightning, each piece of static electricity he could see. Every visible part, at least. And so he knew that about 1 feet away from each bolt of lightning, well, whenever Kakashi came that close anyway, that's, and only that, would be when he would have to escape, when he would have to move. And so, that's exactly what he did. As soon as he could see a static bolt 2 feet away from him, he made preparations. He prepared chakra in his feet. He was ready. The muddy pillar that he was now standing on turned to a sort of, well, stone. And it actually began to crumble. This is due to the fact that lightning is, well, stronger than stone. And thus, well, they fought against each other. Now, I'm not sure if that's the exact affinity. It might be that Earth is weaker than lightning. But it's my understanding that lightning is stronger than Earth. If it's the other way around, there is a scenario where it makes sense still. The fact of the matter is that the pillar became now rocky. With that, Naruto escaped at the last second before Kakashi could hit the jutsu on Naruto, as he still had to expel the jutsu somehow. And thus, he continued the rush forward, pressing on. He was surprised by Naruto's ability to evade him, especially that close. Nobody had ever avoided the lightning blade or Chidori. From that distance, from that range, it was too close. With that, Naruto smirked. He then stood in the air. He clapped his hands together. Now, let me show you something, Hatake Kakashi. This is a jutsu. It's water-style affinity. I mastered it after I turned my hair azure blue. What? You've heard the tale, everyone has. I dipped my head in the waters of the Hidden Mist Village for an entire month. During that time, what did you think? I was just dipping my head in the water? I was mastering a jutsu, a water-style jutsu so powerful that no water specialist, no matter how strong or how long they've trained, could ever match me. Now, behold, this. Water style. Infinity. Water began to surge out of the ground. It was monstrous. And, well, Kakashi's lightning style wouldn't have helped him. You see, if he applied the lightning style to the water, he would just be creating a higher electricity voltage. And that wouldn't do anything but hinder him. And so he canceled out his own jutsu by slamming it directly into the dirt beneath him. Damn it. I might actually lose. And I didn't even get to test out his hand-to-hand combat abilities. Ugh. Damn it. He is as strong as he says he is. Now watch! I can control the water. With the movement of my hands, it flows. I will make it into a snake that constricts you. The water then swirled around him and began to constrict him as a snake would a prey. Or rather, its prey. And thus, the mouth of a snake would appear at the bow of the water, approaching Kakashi's head, slowly but steadily. Kakashi was frightened, scared. A jutsu like this could kill somebody, could kill him. In that moment, it was either life or death. His Mangekyo Sharingan that he subconsciously awakened when Rin died, fully activated. And due to pure instinct alone, he managed to activate the Kamui. Kamui! Kakashi yelled out. Obito could feel his Sharingan. He even wondered if he should go to the direction of where it was. But enough of Obito. Back to the current fight. Kakashi then grabbed his eye in pain, but he continued to use the Kamui to absorb the water that was around him. Water was still dormant on the ground. He couldn't absorb the whole attack, only a small portion of it. And thus, Kakashi was too tired to go on. Well, he was too tired to use any more jutsus, at least. Any jutsus that required as much chakra as Ichidori, that is. Awakening the Kamui for the first time spent his chakra far too quickly. And so he engaged in a taijutsu battle with Naruto, but Naruto quickly gained the upper hand. Kakashi's movements at this point were sluggish, tired, unrefined. With that, Naruto jumped into the air. He then created a spear out of the water and slammed it into Kakashi. The spear went into Kakashi, but of course it didn't pierce him. The water wasn't that sharp. It did send him flying down into the dirt and created a small dust cloud from the impact of the blast. With that, the victor was decided. Naruto Uzumaki, but to them known as Aphelion, well, had won. Tsunade let off a small clap. Good job, Aphelion. It's true. You are strong. I'm glad that the rumors are not lies, though, because your strength is needed in retrieving this ninja of ours. Yes, that is, well. Tired already? You should tell that to the other guy. I'm just fine. I could take you on right now if I had to. Well, whatever you say, Naruto. What? How did you? Of course, I knew that you were Naruto Uzumaki. The data on you, it's too consistent. What? I could immediately sense the other presence, the Kyuubi. I'm sure that's what Kakashi could sense too. He has a Sharingan, goddammit. Those whiskers? It's a dead giveaway. Oh, and might I add, if you look closely, really focus your eyes, you can see a light blonde hue under the blue. Not as if you dyed your hair and then, boom, it was blue. No, as if your hair naturally has that blonde hue. From the data that we concluded, you left the village, or rather you were abducted, returning back to the village. Why would you take so much time to research somebody who was abducted? This Naruto fellow. Don't play dumb. I know that you're Naruto. It took so much time to research him because, well, Naruto was the son of the fourth Hokage Minato Namikaze. Rather, he is. You are. What? Why are you saying all of this? I am not the son of the fourth Hokage. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, who was shunned by his village. Naruto Uzumaki, who, while returning home to, well, the Leaf Village, was ambushed and kidnapped by bandits. That's who I am. Not the son of the fourth. No, but you are the son of the fourth. What? Why was I never told this? That makes no sense. Hiruzen, the third Hokage. I know who Hiruzen is! Well, he took it into his own hands to make sure that it remained secret. He believed that if you know, it would put you in danger. All of this information is surprising. I suppose I am Naruto Uzumaki. But how could you really tell? I don't know. I suppose we'll never know. Now then, I ask, why did you choose only now to return to the village? Well, in the letter you dropped off a small map. I never actually knew how to return to the Hidden Leaf Village. So you're telling me you spent 4 years alone? No. I had a mentor before. Her name, it was Chisuke. She taught me how to be strong, how to fight for myself, how to do so many things. Believe me, I'm thankful. If it weren't for her help, protection, and safety, I probably would have ended up dead. The ninja world is scary when you're alone. Her full name was Chisuke Fujiwara. She was special in more ways than just her ability to teach, her strength, her power. I feel as if that she's still with me, even though I know that she's gone, that she's dead. I can feel the void in my heart. I surrendered a piece of my soul to her. I know that to be true. Not quite literally, but metaphorically I did, you know? And when she died, she took that all with her to the grave. And I have forever lost that piece of me. I never want to feel that feeling again. And I'm sure the loved ones of this ninja who deserted the village, or left the village, or, well, I'm not sure in the specifics. I'm sure that the people who loved him would feel that void if he were to die, or if he were to never be returned to them. So I promise I will save him, no matter what it takes, no matter how hard I have to try. I will bring him back to the Leaf Village. Indefinitely. So Tsunade is the guy that we're bringing back here. I'm glad that you at least know that it's a guy. The letter was supposed to debrief you completely. Target, Sasuke Uchiha. What? Sasuke? I thought he was still in the village. No, you didn't hear? Well, not too long after you were abducted, he fled the village. It is our understanding that he is now with Orochimaru. This is bad because if Orochimaru has possession over the Sharingan, well, who knows what could happen. The fact of the matter is, Orochimaru will indefinitely try to make Sasuke his vessel. Which means that Sasuke will die, and Orochimaru will be far too powerful for any of us to stop him. I see. So, am I to kill Orochimaru and then save Sasuke? Or save Sasuke and then kill Orochimaru? Or is my mission solely to save Sasuke? Or is my mission solely to save Orochimaru? Your mission is to retrieve Sasuke. I don't care how you do it. Understood. Whenever your squad's ready, let me know. The riverbank, where the stream hits and becomes a waterfall, that is where I will be. Send a squad there, whenever you're ready. Understood. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto immediately got some Ichiraku's ramen as he actually began to catch up with Tucci, telling him all about some of his life story, some of the things that he did that were, well, in Naruto's eyes, very, very cool. With that being said, Naruto left, traveling to the waterfall. This is actually the same waterfall that Shisui fell down and killed himself in. So, kind of symbolic in a way. With that being said, Naruto waited and waited until an Anbu squad came to him, telling Naruto that they were ready, that the squad has now been assembled. Naruto smirked. Good. Because I was waiting for you to be ready for me. Now then. Shall I begin? With that being said, Naruto stood up as he walked with the Anbu. He then got into his squad. His squad was filled with all of the Konoha 11, besides Sasuke, of course. With that being said, it was also filled with multiple Anbu, as well as Kakashi Hatake, and a special Jonin, known as Yui. With that being said, they traveled. They traveled a long distance until they stumbled across Orochimaru's hideout. They knew that inside had to be Sasuke Uchiha. And so, they entered. Naruto was the first to enter. He made sure. He didn't want any of his squad mates to get hurt if he wasn't going to be either. If there was some sort of trap, he would be the first to be hit. He wouldn't allow for his comrades to be hit first. So he walked in. The hallways were dark, lit by a few candles only. And sparingly, too. It seemed to be dim for a purpose, for a reason. Purposely it was dim instead of light. Naruto believed it to be the kind of aura that Orochimaru preferred. A darkened glow. He continued down the hallway until he saw a room. Inside of the room were several experiments. He kept walking. He knew that since Orochimaru valued Sasuke too highly, he wouldn't be in there. He also didn't want to disrupt them. If they're in pain, they may scream. If they're frightened, they may scream. So, he didn't want to alert anyone in the hideout that they were there. They continued walking until they saw a different room. Naruto deduced that within this room was 3 people. He could see gray-white hair similar to Kakashi's on one of their heads. But that was all. That was it. He assumed that the other 2 must be Orochimaru and Sasuke Uchiha. And so he waited patiently. He waited for them to continue conversation. He needed to catch them off guard. And so that he did. As soon as they began their conversation, and, well, really got into deep conversation with one another, Naruto entered the room with his Anbu squad. It was then that Naruto unsheathed his blade. Backed by his Anbu forces, Naruto took out who he believed to be the easiest, the one who he did not recognize. He knew Orochimaru from merely a description and a small portrait picture. Sasuke, of course, he knew who that was. But the one he didn't know was Kabuto. And thus, he deduced that Kabuto was the weakest, and that if he had, well, been known to anyone for his power, strength, or abilities, Tsunade would have debriefed him on him, and thus he took out Kabuto first, slicing into his body and cutting a deep gash. His Anbu squad still protecting him, it allowed Naruto to focus in completely on Kabuto, as Naruto would then thrust his blade through Kabuto's heart, subsequently killing him. Or so Naruto thought. It was a mere clone. Kabuto's body began to resemble that of a dead body, a lifeless body. Naruto then looked around the room, and only a meter away was the real Kabuto, laughing as he re-put on his glasses. Naruto then smirked. "You won't fool me again," Naruto said, as he outstretched his left hand, beginning several hand signs. With his other hand, he used the Shadow Clone Jutsu, creating 3 Shadow Clones, which were basically just to make sure that Sasuke and Orochimaru didn't leave the room. With that, he grabbed Kabuto with his free hand and used a jutsu that much resembled the Rasengan. So, for the sake of it, we will call it the Rasengan. Although, instead of being a Rasengan, it's more of a water-based like version. With that, he slammed it into Kabuto, which did considerable damage. As soon as Kabuto's body had been stunned from the water, he added electricity to stun him even further. With that, he unsheathed his blade once more. This time, he cut straight through Kabuto's abdomen. With that, he twisted his blade as blood sporadically spurted out of the wound. Naruto then smiled. That Shadow Clone, or I guess it would just have been the normal clone jutsu, was actually pretty effective in fooling me. I gotta hand it to you. That was pretty smart. Now then, I've decided that I'll keep you alive. Just barely. The Yamanaka clan can extract information from you. And I'll probably be able to stack in on a greater reward if I leave you alive. Who's to say I won't kill myself instead? Me. Naruto then clapped his hands together. Well now, of course, any great pupil would kill themselves, so, nobody could get the information out of them. But I've decided otherwise. Naruto dropped a gigantic sealing paper atop Kabuto's body. The seal then began to commence as it lit Kabuto's body. Not on fire or anything like that, but it lit it up as if it was shining a bright light over Kabuto's body. The sealing light then diminished as Kabuto's body just was, lying there. Kabuto's body had been completely sealed to move. He could no longer move any part of his body, for the most part. Besides his eyes. With that being said, Naruto then looked over at Sasuke and Orochimaru, who continued to fight the Anbu and Naruto Shadow Clones. Mind you, Naruto Shadow Clones resemble the Anbu, as they all have Anbu masks on. Naruto made sure that it was important that Sasuke didn't know that it was him. He wanted to see how strong Sasuke was as well, compared to him. How far had their training taken them? Sasuke continued to fight the Anbu, Naruto's clones, and, the other people sent on the mission, that being the Konoha 11. It would be then that Shikamaru used the Shadow Possession Jutsu on Orochimaru and Sasuke. Naruto then queued for Orochimaru to be, I guess you could say, taken out of the Shadow Possession Jutsu, as Shikamaru nodded. Also, this was great for him, as he would be able to divert more chakra to keeping Sasuke, under control. With that, Naruto grabbed Orochimaru before he could make any more moves. Sasuke only caught a glimpse of Naruto with his Sharingan, before having to focus in on not being killed by the Anbu. Having to defend himself whilst also resisting the Shadow Possession Jutsu was the hardest thing that Sasuke had ever done in his life. His body wanted to completely shut down. Heck, his body didn't even want to move due to the jutsu. He could barely even resist it. Actually, multiple times it had frozen his body completely. He was only moving his blade slightly to deflect certain kunai and to move his stance only by an inch, if even a centimeter. With that, Naruto dragged Orochimaru out of the room, as he then flung Orochimaru into a wall of the hideout. Rubble began to build up as Naruto smirked. So you're Lord Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sani. And you are? I am nobody to you. But maybe you have heard of me. Well, go on. What is your name? Honestly, I've been trying to figure that out for a long time now. But some know me as Naruto. Naruto the Immortal. Pardon? Pardon me? Yes, that is I. No. If only I had known you were coming. You knowing I was coming wouldn't have changed anything. No, it would have changed everything. You do not know how long I've been waiting to get my hands on you. The supposed immortal? Naruto Uzumaki? They also say that he houses the Nine Tails. Oh, a vessel like that would be more grand than anything I've ever got my hands on. Even Sasuke would pale in comparison. So is it true? Are you really immortal? I suppose you'll just have to find out. Come at me. Stab me right through my heart. Actually, I'm the one who will be doing that. What? Orochimaru and Naruto both turned their heads to see a woman with red hair covered in armor. I am Valkyrie! Who? Valkyrie. Valkyrie is my name. Is this one of your experiments, Orochimaru? No. This is somebody else. I'm afraid we haven't met before, Valkyrie. Do you mind telling me why you're here? To kill you! Oh. Well, are you sure? I'm kind of in the middle of a fight here. Yeah, I'm positive. I don't give a damn about your little fight. Fine, then. Naruto then clapped his hands together as he began to form hand seals. He then stopped on the hand seal of Rat, as a massive sealing jutsu would begin. I had been trained in the arts of sealing jutsu, Orochimaru. So, we will continue our fight. But for now, Naruto then reached into his ninja pouch, English, pulling out a small, very, very, very small gourd, about the size of a kunai. With that, he then said, "Churu!" As Orochimaru's body was sucked up into the gourd, Naruto then placed a stopper at the end of the gourd's mouth as he placed it back in his ninja pouch. Now then, Valkyrie. That sealing jutsu took a lot out of me, Naruto thought to himself, wiping away a piece of sweat on his forehead. Would you like to commence this battle of ours? Of course I would! But we will not be doing it here, in this hallway. Instead, you'll be coming to my own dimension. What? I mastered time-space ninjutsu just so I could kill your sorry ass. Naruto couldn't help but feel his body sucked into Valkyrie's time-space. The room he was now in was white, completely white. It was as Valkyrie said, her own dimension. So, before we commence our fight, why the hell do you even want to kill me? Do you even have to ask? Naruto. Yes? You've killed countless people, have you not? No, actually, I haven't. Yeah, right. You're Your friend, Chisuke Fujiwara. She murdered my parents before my eyes, and you know what I saw? What did you see, Valkyrie? As she left, after committing the atrocities that she did, do you know who watched it all and said nothing, did nothing? Naruto Uzumaki. From the looks of it, you're either older than me or the same age as me. I shouldn't be held responsible for the death of your parents. Well, then where the hell is Chisuke? Never mind. I'll kill her. But first, I think I must kill you. Valkyrie then grasped onto her blade. As she thrusted her blade forward, Naruto took 2 steps backward. But it was to no avail. Valkyrie was too fast, too quick. She covered a wide amount of distance in, well, a short amount of time. And with that, her blade thrusted through Naruto's heart, as Naruto in Valkyrie's eyes was now dead. It hurts. It hurts so bad. What is happening? You should be dead. I just stabbed my blade right through your heart. Yeah, I think I should be dead too. I knew it! I knew it. It all makes sense to me now. What makes sense to you? My first declaration with this power is going to be to spare your life. What did you realize, Naruto? Chisuke, she died years ago. What? If I really thought about it, I think it was 4 years now. Anyways, I lost track of time. Now then, might I add this? Not only did she die 4 years ago, but when she died, she touched me. I believe that touch spread her power to me. She enabled me. No, she gave me, gifted upon me, immortality. But if you're only figuring out that you're immortal now, why did your name, Naruto the Immortal, spread throughout all lands? You know what? I'm not really sure. It's probably my high durability. People must have thought I was immortal because I could survive tough hits, deep cuts. My biggest shames, my biggest scars, are riddled on my back. I would show you. Actually, I will show you. But not yet. What do you mean, not yet? I am sorry. I should have... Naruto now held his hand around Valkyrie's neck, choking her to a point of near breathlessness. I should have focused my efforts on Chisuke instead of blaming you, Naruto. I sincerely apologize. That's not enough. If I wasn't immortal, I would be dead now because of you, Valkyrie. Now then, let's see just how strong that armor is. Naruto then slashed his blade across the armor, as he would smirk. Huh. It's quite tough. Naruto then stabbed his blade into Valkyrie, piercing through her armor. and cutting a deep wound into her. I assumed from the very start that your durability was your biggest weakness. Nobody carries around that much armor just to be strong underneath it. If my theory is right, without proper healing, you'll die in just a few hours. So you're just gonna leave me here to die? No, Valkyrie, I'm not that cruel. But what I won't be doing is allowing you to attack me again. Shizuke taught me many sealing jutsus. Ancient sealing jutsus. Sealing jutsus that no man today could ever wield, hold, possess, use, obtain. This one is a sealing jutsu that prohibits you from ever attacking me again. Now, Sky Rexian Seal. Naruto dropped his hand, placing it over Valkyrie's heart. Well, technically speaking, over her armor, but where her heart was beneath. With that, the seal was then placed, as Naruto smirked. Now for now, until the end of your existence, you may never raise a blade to me again. And if you do, it may not be with evil intent, or the intent to harm me at all. Now then, Valkyrie, your wound. Naruto then began to heal Valkyrie's wound, as Valkyrie didn't understand Naruto's sudden kindness. With that, he threw Valkyrie into, well, a wall of her own dimension. He then asked Valkyrie how to escape her own time-space ninjutsu. As Valkyrie smirked, I could keep you here indefinitely. Why wouldn't I just do that? Because if you did, then I can end your life in just a few seconds. Never mind. I'll just have to break out of your time-space ninjutsu myself. No, wait. If you break my time-space ninjutsu, then I may never be able to use it again. I'll have to create an entire new dimension. That will take years. Instead, you can just go. Heal here. I'm assuming that you can't just make your time-space ninjutsu send you out anywhere. I will ensure that this place is clear by the time that your wounds have healed. 30 minutes, that's all I need. Thank you, Naruto. Yeah, no problem. Naruto then left the time-space ninjutsu with, well, Valkyrie helping him do so. With that, he was now back in the hallway of Orochimaru's hideout. He remembered Orochimaru was still in the gourd in his pocket, and decided to leave him be. With that, he rushed back into the room to fight Sasuke Uchiha, his best friend, and, well, comrade. Upon entering the room that Sasuke was in, as well as the other Konoha 11 and the Anbu sent on with them on the squad, Naruto saw destruction. The entire room was in shambles. Sasuke stood. It wasn't clear how, but the Shadow Possession Jutsu on Sasuke, done by Shikamaru, was no more, and Shikamaru was on the ground, bleeding profusely. As for the other Konoha 11, well, they were scattered across the room, too scared to go any closer to Sasuke. And as for the Anbu, well, their bodies were scattered around Sasuke. Sasuke smirked as Naruto entered the room. Naruto's face was covered by an Anbu mask. He had no idea who was entering the room. He just believed it to be another Anbu. Naruto didn't know what to say, how to react, what emotion he should, well, give off. Should he laugh? Should he smile under his mask? Should he bask in the fight? What kind of laugh should he use if he were to laugh? He didn't know. Because, as it appeared, his side had taken mass casualties. And as by the expressions on the Konoha 11's faces, they were utterly scared of, well, what appeared to be Sasuke and, well, whatever he had done. With that, Sasuke put away his blade, smirking, whilst at the same time brandishing a smile. Yet another Anbu. This one seems different. Do you want to have a hand-to-hand combat battle? Or should I dismiss of you with my blade? I honestly don't care how our battle commences, Naruto said under his mask, which augmented his voice. Sasuke smiled even more now. Well, then I choose a taijutsu battle. Although, if you do wish to, you may surprise me with a blade attack. Only if you're fast enough, of course. If you're too slow, then I'll just chop off your hand. Challenge accepted, Naruto said under his mask. For some reason, Naruto was scared. More scared than he had ever been in his life. He now had to face Sasuke Uchiha, his former comrade, his best friend, and, well, one of the only people who understood him in the entire world. Naruto didn't know what to do, how to react, what to say, how he should approach this fight, how he should fight. As far as he could tell, the Konoha 11 were outmatched for Sasuke as well as the several Anbu sent on the squad. Kakashi Hatake was supposed to approach soon. He was supposed to be on this mission. Something must have happened to him. Something must have derailed him. So now Naruto held himself responsible for every single life on this battlefield. The battlefield that was Orochimaru's hideout. Naruto had to defeat Sasuke. This was his smallest jump forward, yet his biggest challenge. If he were to defeat Sasuke, then he'd be able to bring his best friend back to the light, back to the good side, if you will, whilst also destroying his greatest fear. And so Naruto did not hold back. As he grabbed onto his blade, he put it down. He had accepted Sasuke's challenge. There was no point on going back on it now. And so as Sasuke approached him, Naruto dodged Sasuke's punch, sending a kick straight into Sasuke's chest, which sent him slightly into the air. Sasuke was surprised by Naruto's, strength, although he didn't know it was Naruto yet. And so, for now, I will refer to Naruto as Naruto, and Sasuke's emotions towards Naruto will be addressing him as Naruto, but for the sake of the what if only. What I mean by that is Sasuke has no idea that Naruto is under the mask. With that, Naruto disappeared and reappeared, kicking Sasuke once more. Sasuke smirked, talking quite enough so that Naruto could hear, but loud enough that, his words were coherent. What I mean by that is, although that was kind of the opposite of how I was trying to say it, Naruto could hear Sasuke, but everybody else in the room could not. Sasuke then spoke. You're fast on your feet. I believe that your kicks are your strongest asset. I suppose you won't be needing them after this battle, though, as you'll be dead. Look at the other Anbu around you. Look at the several Konoha nin in this entire room. They're scared shitless of me, of what I can do to them, of how I can destroy them, how I can dismember them. They are scared of the monster I've become, but you, even the other Anbu, they were scared to fight me. That's how I killed most of them. You see how bloody they are? They left themselves open because of their fear, in pursuit of trying to defeat me. I captivated on their fear alone. That's what made them get defeated. Does that make sense to you? Anbu. Yes, it makes complete sense. It would be then that Naruto would do yet another spin kick on Sasuke, sending him flying into the wall of the hideout. Ha! Not bad, Anbu! This time, Sasuke now ran towards Naruto, at speeds that Naruto was barely able to perceive. Naruto then outstretched his hand, as he began to mutter under his breath. Now, Sealing Jutsu! Chains of Azure! These chains have the power, or at least they say they have the power, to hold even the three tails of Sobu. Holding you should be cakework. Or, well, in this case, light work. Or, I suppose, to get a little bit more technical, chain work! Now then, be confined by the chains! Sasuke's body would be confined to the chains, as they now held him in place. Well then, Naruto. How exactly do you plan on killing me? Now, Sasuke did just say Naruto, quote-unquote, but he's not actually saying Naruto in this fight, he is just saying Anbu. For now, just for confusion's sake, I will not be referring to Naruto as Naruto anymore, and just as the Anbu. How do you suppose you'll do it, Anbu scum? Do you even think that you can do it? While saying this, Sasuke relentlessly tried to escape the chains, but they proved too strong, and so Sasuke was left helplessly, spitting out, well, BS, to put it lightly. I spent so much of my chakra, Naruto said to himself. Is my Anbu friend here getting a little bit tired? To Konoha 11 then collected themselves. They were ready to attack. No! Don't attack yet! But it was too late. Choji, Shino, and even Tenten rushed in to attack Sasuke. But it would be then that lightning appeared around Sasuke's body, zapping them. All of them. Naruto was the only one who was able to narrowly escape the lightning. But the lightning bolts were enough to, well, give them all third-degree burns. They were lucky that their hair wasn't taken along with it. Well, along with their skin, that is. With that, they were now all left on the ground. Smoke coming off of their bodies from the heat of the lightning. And Sasuke with a smile on his face. His smile quickly turned to frustration, and then his frustration turned to anger, and then, well, his anger turned into nothingness. He was content. He didn't want to hurt the people that he had come to know as his comrades. But he had already started. There was no point in ending it here. What coward would do that? A weak person. He knew he had to be strong to take on Itachi. A part of that would be emotionally strong. And so he didn't relent. He challenged the others to come forward. But none of them did. Except for Sakura. Sakura approached Sasuke with a kunai in hand, rushing towards him, at speeds that, well, Sasuke was surprised at. But even so, her fate was the same as Tenten and, well, even Shino's. Even Choji's, to be quite honest. Burnt and beaten. With that, Naruto would take it no longer. Just because I have you restrained doesn't mean that you're unable to use jutsu. Unfortunately, I believe that you had no jutsu that you could use in such a manner. I underestimated you, Sasuke Uchiha. So now the Anbu who put me in this position is refraining from attacking me? No. I'm not refraining from attacking you at all. Then what are you... This jutsu can be used as both a defensive jutsu and an offensive jutsu. Actually, it's a little bit of both, as you can tell. What is this? It burns. Just as you burn my comrades with your lightning, you will feel your skin begin to sizzle, incinerate under the chains. It now heats at a maximum level. I can only imagine the amount of pain you will soon experience, Sasuke. It is as if your body will be dipped in the pits of hell. I swear, when you're done, spent out of chakra, I'll kill you, you Ambu scum! That, I do not doubt. At least you're prepared to die. The others in this room, I do not know if I can say the same for. You are a formidable Ambu. Even the Ambu who came before you were nothing but scum. They were scared of death just as much as the others. But can you blame them? You mask your laughs with pain and anguish. Sasuke, you're no different than the weeping boys of war. Do not compare me to children who do not know how to fight. It is true, I do not know war. But it also remains true that I will not be defeated by you or anybody else. You got that? Yeah. I got that. Good. I no longer want to hear it from you. It's funny how you're telling me what to do, Sasuke. What was that, Ambu? You heard what I said. You're the one who's nearly dead here. I could kill you right here and now. And yet you choose not to! Because I have a mission. I'm being paid good money to keep your ass alive. You better be thankful to me. Yeah, good money, huh? As if I care. As if I give a damn. You should give a damn, Sasuke. Yeah, maybe I should. Or maybe, just maybe, I don't need to care. Because I am Sasuke Uchiha, the man who will kill Itachi. Sasuke. What, Ambu? I'm going to let your chains go. And why the hell would you do that? It's simple. So that I could do this, Naruto would then let Sasuke's chains go, as he would proceed to attack. Naruto unsheathed his blade, cutting right past Sasuke, cutting a massive gash in his side. The wound bled profusely, as Sasuke began to hold it in pain. Damn it. Sasuke then grabbed his own blade, as he clashed blades with Naruto, using his right hand, which is not his dominant hand. With that, his blade was then flung across the room by the sheer strength of Naruto's own blade. And with that, Sasuke, now defenseless, Naruto revealed who he was. Taking off his mask and shaking out his hair, he dropped his mask to the ground. But only for a second. Just so that Sasuke could see his face for a split second. Now Sasuke was curious to who he was. The man behind the face. But with his mask now freshly put back on, he had no idea. Naruto then approached Sasuke, grabbing him by both of his arms. It would be then that Naruto began pounding his head into Sasuke's own, as they then began to headbutt each other over and over again, until Naruto's Anbu mask shattered to pieces. Naruto was now head to head with Sasuke, quite literally, as they stared into each other's eyes. Naruto recognized Sasuke's Sharingan. You could, well, never miss it. And as for Sasuke, Sasuke recognized Naruto's charming blue eyes. The ones that feel so familiar to him. He just had to say it. He began to form the sentence, the word. Naruto, is that? It's me, Sasuke. It's me. I thought you had died. I thought you died. Why did it take so long for you to finally come back? I was led on a journey. A lot happened. Trust me. It's far too much to tell you right now. But if you'll agree to it, may you please come back to the village. Sasuke thought about it. He looked to the ground. Naruto and Sasuke's eyes no longer met with each other. As Sasuke then rose his head back up to look at Naruto. As he nodded yes, he put away his blade. And one by one, he began to apologize to each of the Konoha 11. As for the dead Anbu, he gave each and every one of them a proper burial. He did this all at lightning speeds, using shadow clones to speed up the process. Naruto also helped Sasuke. And with that, they left. Naruto heard a voice in his head. It sounded like, I know. But he didn't know what that voice was, who that voice was. As Naruto began to question it inside himself. Well, to put it simply, the voices vanished, and nothing was said. It would be then that Sasuke would return with them to the village and then leaves. Naruto was then paid what he was, well, in this case, owed, and, well, instead of choosing to leave, he chose to stay. And he reconciled, or rather, I guess you could just say started bonds once more with most of his, well, former comrades. The Konoha 11 is what I mean by that. With that, Team 7 was reformed. Once more under Kakashi Hatake. With that being said, on one of their several missions, something peculiar happened. Well, the one-tailed Jinchuriki Gaara had been endangered. The Leaf, who at this point does have a truce with the Sand Village, would be sent to help Gaara. Gaara, at this point, who has been changed, not by the words of Naruto or anything like that, but instead by his own sister and brother, who risked their lives knowing very well that Gaara could possibly kill them, but still tried to save him from the darkness. Using their words to get through to him, they eventually helped him. And although still he may not sleep at night due to the Shikage within him, he's no longer evil, per se. With that being said, they arrived in the Sand Village, as they then had the fight, Sasori and Deidara. In this timeline, the same goes. Also, it should be clear that this Sakura is the same strength that she was in the original timeline when this is occurring. With that being said, Sakura and Chiyo would fight Sasori, as it would be Sasuke and Naruto's job to fight Deidara. During the fight with Deidara, Naruto was actually killed. As before dying, he heard the voices once more. All he could hear is, "He's coming." before dying. But this time, Naruto didn't immediately awaken. And so, in Sasuke's mind, Naruto was now dead, killed by Deidara. Sasuke, whose Sharingan was already at the 3 Tomoe stage, now had the means to unlock the Mangekyo. And oh boy, did he use those means. Immediately, the Mangekyo sprung to life. The spinning spiral was shown vibrantly in his eyes. As it was then that Naruto appeared. He was in a room, a white room, similar to that of Valkyrie's time-space ninjutsu. It was then that he saw a woman step in the view. This woman had armor on, resembling Valkyrie's armor, but it was different, special. If Valkyrie's armor was normal armor, then, well, whoever this was, well, they were in armor that only the highest form of knight could wear. With that, it appeared to be a woman, and as Naruto took closer and closer inspection, it was actually Chisuke Fujiwara, Naruto's master, and who he believed to be the first wielder of immortality. It would be then that another appeared into view, and another, and another, and another. But the one who seemed most important was at the center of all of them. There were 7 in total, but the one to Chisuke's right seemed to be the most important. His attire was different. He wore a robe. It was black, with golden outlines all over it. He had a hood covering his face, although, upon meeting eyes with Naruto, he took down the hood. His hair was interesting. It appeared to be brown, yet black at the same time, with hues of red throughout it. He lifted up the sleeves on his robe, which revealed several cuts in his arms. Naruto presumed them to be from battle. And then, he spoke. But before he could, Naruto had to ask, Who are you? And why the hell am I here? The man then spoke. I am Rami, the first immortal. What? I thought Chisuke was one of my many children. She passed on the ability to multiple others, but, well, it should be noted that if you were not born with the gift, then you can die. The people that she did pass her gift to, well, they survived for centuries. I believe some of them even fought alongside Chisuke for many, many, many years. And then eventually, my daughter, Chisuke, had to go for the grief of losing these people. Because even though their lives were heavily prolonged with, well, the immortality, it appeared that they could not sustain it. That only a special kind of person could. People who were closely related to the Otsutsuki, and people who were also closely related to Asura. Asura? Yes. You, Naruto, are a reincarnation of Asura. And your friend, Sasuke Uchiha, well, he is the reincarnation of Asura's brother, Indra. It is fated for the two of them to fight, always throughout history. The closest there was to peace between the reincarnations was Hashirama and Madara Senju. Believe me, watching those two fight, and, well, become allies as well, was one of the most interesting things that has happened to me whilst in this sort of limbo. Why didn't all of you guys just pass on to some sort of deeper afterlife? This seems far too close to the living. That's the point. The man on the farthest end of the right spoke. He was bigger than the others, his build, that is. But for the most part, his attire was quite similar to that of what normal villagers wore. Immortality for us is a curse. You'll soon come to learn that, Naruto. It is because not only can we not die, but when we do, well, let's put it this way. We are damned to be immortal for the rest of our lives, both living and dead. It sucks in that way, my dear student Naruto. Chisuke now spoke. I'm sorry that I damned you to live like this. To have this burden. No, Chisuke. I know. What I've done is unforgivable. It was even wrong of me, if I'm being honest. So I'm sorry. Very, very, very sorry. Chisuke, he understands that you're sorry. He accepts your apology. Please, do not further conversation on that matter. Now, Naruto. All immortals are dead. Except for two. And it doesn't help that one of them is you. What? Wait, what was your name again? It's Rami. You'll do well to remember it, because I am the other immortal who is still alive. What? So then why are you here with all the other dead immortals? Sorry, guys. But why? Well, it is true. I am in the limbo that my other comrades are also in. That is because I have chosen to be here. What? Currently, in this moment, I needed to meet you. I chose this as the perfect time because it's easiest to reach you when you're dead. Now then, I am well alive. Although, I've had to wipe myself from the history. Why would you do that? Humans would find it oddly suspicious if the same ninja walked around the planet for several centuries. Heck, even millennia. They would believe me a demon, burn me at the stake. Or they would use my powers. Ninja like Orochimaru would probably experiment on me. Better yet, I'd maybe even be killed just for the fact that I'm, well, different. Now then, I am still alive. But I've honestly thought about it, and for the most part, I like the place I'm in now more than I have ever liked the living. Well, that is for the last 100 centuries. Sorry, not 100 centuries, 100 years. Life's just become so bland. Whilst here, at least I have fun with my friends. We talk and share our stories. And I never feel alone. I'm in a room with people who are just like me. How could I? Anyways. You may, what? You may go now, Naruto. What was the point of keeping me here? So long. It's long here, but out there, you've only been dead for, what? Maybe a minute now? That's still way too long. Why did you even call for this meeting of sorts? Well, what kind of first immortal would I be if I didn't meet the newest? Call this your indoctrination as an immortal. You've passed your test. I can see now that you may be the most important of us. Throughout this life, and maybe throughout history of ninja. Now then, Naruto. Return to your comrades and fight. And Naruto looked around him, trying to figure out where Sasuke and Deidara went, as he then saw Sasuke's blade cemented in Deidara. Sasuke's eyes then shifted, looking at Naruto, who was now alive and well. As Sasuke's eyes began to dampen. By that I mean, well, his Sharingan shifted back into the 3 Tomoe, then the 2 Tomoe. He then fell on his knees. Deidara of the Akatsuki is dead. Sasuke! And I am alive. But barely. Sasuke then fell into Naruto's arms. As Gaara thanked Naruto and Sasuke for, well, their help. It would be then that Naruto alerted Sakura of what had happened, and that Sasuke would be immediately taken back to the Leaf Village. Upon telling Sakura, who had already finished battle with Sasori, they left to return back to the Leaf Village. Sakura followed in hot pursuit of Naruto and Sasuke. With that, they arrived back at the Leaf, where Sasuke would be immediately hospitalized. Sasuke was now having a speedy recovery. And Naruto, well, Naruto was waiting for Sasuke to awake. With that being said, from here, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, the entire Leaf Village, to, well, be honest, would begin to hunt the Akatsuki. There was even a 5 Kage summit called between the nations, with the Sand Village calling it. A treaty was formed between nations to kill the Akatsuki, as all Kages of every single nation formed together to beat them. And they were successful. With the help of Naruto and Sasuke as well, the Akatsuki stood no match for the newly formed alliances of the world. The only Akatsuki members who still lived were Itachi Uchiha and Obito Uchiha. Pain and Nagato, they had both been killed. Nagato died due to chakra exhaustion, but Pain had been destroyed nevertheless. With that being said, Itachi had quickly fled. It's presumed that he fled to the Leaf Village. And as for Obito Uchiha, well, he continues to fight. With that being said, eventually, Kakashi managed to awaken his Mangekyo Sharingan in this great battle. Upon doing so, Obito now had a weakness, and that weakness was exploited. And during their battle, Obito was then detained and sealed away by Naruto. With that, Naruto, Sasuke, Kakashi, all of the Leaf Village, and every other great nation had defeated the organization known as the Akatsuki. With Itachi Uchiha now alone and a rogue ninja, and Obito Uchiha now sealed away and detained, all the Akatsuki members were defeated. As for previous ones, Orochimaru was still sealed away in the gourd that Naruto kept in his ninja pouch. And thus, the Akatsuki had been defeated. Upon returning to the Leaf Village, Naruto gave up Orochimaru to the Leaf Village, instead of continuing his battle with him. He felt that it was a stain on his own honor, but he also felt that it was the best motive for the village. With that, Itachi Uchiha did in fact return to the Leaf Village. And upon returning to the Leaf Village, well, he had no choice but to, well, be sentenced to jail time as well. With that, he lived out his days in, well, prison. Although, he was well on his way to being forgiven, as Itachi had barely committed any atrocity, and after explaining his reasoning for doing such a thing, Danzo and the other elders were being questioned. and Itachi was well on his way to being, well, freed. It only took one Hyuga looking in the direction of Danzo to point out that he had killed several Uchiha, treason on the highest level against his own countrymen. Danzo was put to death, execution. And who carried out this execution? It was none other than Sasuke Uchiha. We now have a time skip of 6 years. Itachi has since then now been freed, and lives out his days as both a blacksmith and a ninja, a jonin to be exact. He has plans of soon settling down and maybe even having children with a woman who he has come to love from the Yamanaka clan. Her name, Ryo Yamanaka. With that being said, as for Naruto and Sasuke, Naruto had been named 6th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. And as for Sasuke, Sasuke had been named Lord 7th. Under a new law that states that there may be 2 Hokages at any given moment. As for Lady 5th, well, Tsunade stepped down, retired, even. Although she has not returned to her drunken ways. Instead, she is now an academy teacher and teaches the new use of the Leaf Village. I hope that this was a great end to the series. I'm not sure if it felt at all rushed. I hope it did not, as I wanted it to be as complete as possible. As you can maybe tell by the length of this video, it is, well, about 2 hours long, maybe even more than that, like 2 hours, 30 minutes range. So I hope that this did fulfill you guys' needs of a finished and complete story. Not that any of you guys were asking for a very complete story from me. I just feel as if that in a lot of my most recent videos, I finished the main plot of the What If, and then I kind of speedrun the end, which leads to shaky parts at the ending. With that being said, I hope this was enjoyable. Naruto would later settle down with Hinata as they would, well, have children, just like they did in the original timeline, that being Boruto and Himawari. Now then, peace was attained within the ninja world. Most other villages feared Naruto. I do not know what happened there. Kind of sounded like I was a 10-year-old for a second because of the way I said field. I said feared, but it was a field. But anyway, the other Grey Nations feared the Leaf Village for its power and for, well, who the Kage was, that being Naruto the Immortal. And, well, thus, peace was attained within the ninja world. And with that being said, Rami X.